Science. It is great to have you join us virtually today as we recognize and celebrate the importance of scholarships and the difference they are making in the lives of our students. We've been working hard to stay connected to our alumni and donors during this time. We've been hosting virtual events highlighting some of the amazing research happening on campus. I encourage you to check them out if you haven't already. They can be found on the NatSci webpage under Events. Notification of future events will be sent to your email, and they will also be posted to the webpage. Prior to the beginning of fall classes, we engaged with our students. We had 3 town hall meetings in June. We had a general introduction and welcome. In July, we had an event on undergraduate research opportunities. And in August, a really important question and answer session with NatSci advisors. Classes started on September 2nd, after being told about a week before they started that we were totally online. So we had a bit of a scramble to make sure everything was in place for online beginning September 2nd. Our students, faculty, and staff have been challenged by the transition to online and have nevertheless been successful. Faculty are doing things in new ways to try to make the most of the online environment. Students on the whole are doing well. However, there are challenges, particularly for incoming students who have not established their MSU cohort support groups. We are running some essential in-person laboratory classes, and our research programs are open and running successfully. Undergraduate and grad students are getting some in-person research experiences within the constraints of social distancing and face masks. We expect spring semester will be online with some in-person essential laboratory experiences. We are also considering new ways to increase in-person experiences in spring. However, and how we can continue to improve our online course experiences. Let me give you a quick college update. And one of the biggest things on our agenda is budget. We have been faced with quite a few cuts this year, but the recent news is very good. The state allocation is expected to be similar to that of last year, whereas we're expecting up to a 20% cut. So we are feeling pretty positive about that. The second very positive thing is that our enrollments numbers are down only 0.2% from last year, which is much better than many other universities. And that's a credit to the work of the faculty and the staff and to the commitment of our great Spartan nation. We are working very hard to plan for the future in the College of Natural Science, and we have a strategy integration team that has been meeting for 9 months with a professional facilitator. We are zeroing in on key NatSci priorities and metrics for success. We hope to have a 2-page flyer, a glossy flyer, and a 10-page executive summary completed by the end of the year. We recently had 2 more of our faculty named 2020 MSU Foundation professors, Piotr Pichuk in chemistry and Luowei Wei in math. They joined 47 colleagues from across the university who have received this high honor since its inception in 2014. Of these, 25 are NatSci faculty members, so we have over half of these distinguished professorships. One thing I want to brag about is that NatSci has very high rankings in 5 broad interdisciplinary research areas that bridge from basic science to applications, particularly those applications impacting society. And it measures the importance of interdisciplinary research to NatSci's activities. The 5 areas where NatSci is currently top 5 in the country are nuclear physics, which US News ranks as number 1, environmental science and engineering, where the Shanghai Index ranks us number 5 in the nation, plant and animal biology, where US News ranks us number 4 in the nation, agricultural sciences, where the QS ranking, used to be called the Times Higher Education ranking, ranks us number 4 in the nation, and veterinary science, where NatSci or the university is ranked number 3 in the nation. As you can see, some of these are very interdisciplinary, but NatSci contributes very strongly to all of them and leads several of them. We have several other areas that we're building on, and we expect to push into the top 5 over the next 5 years. They include ecology, evolution, and behavior, STEM education research, astrophysics, applied data science, and I hope several we haven't thought of yet. Scholarships are absolutely vital to our programs. Support for students through scholarships and fellowships is critical to our ability to support student success and to attract and retain the best students. Student support is the #1 priority of the college. Thank you to all of you who have stepped up and helped support our students. To date, the college has more than 150 endowed scholarships and around 15 expendable scholarships. These funds offer a wide range of support from financial need and tuition assistance to undergraduate research opportunities and field experiences. Some of the funds also support the Dean's Research Scholars Program, which we are excited to announce is currently in its 9th year. The Dean's Research Scholars are a group of outstanding students who are all involved in undergraduate research. In addition to their research experience, this select group of students also participate in special events and speaking engagements, talking about the impact of research is having on their undergraduate experience. These students also have the ability to clearly communicate their research and their classroom experiences, while also showcasing what student life is currently like on our campus. We have some of the current cohort of the Dean's Research Scholars with us here today. They will be joining some of the breakout rooms as well later, so you will have the opportunity to speak with them as well. So in closing, I'd like to say thank you all very much for being here today and for your generosity and commitment to NatSci. To the students here today, I ask you to think about the culture of giving that made your scholarship possible, and I encourage you to think about how you might pay it forward down the road to help students such as yourself attain their dreams and goals. This event will also provide the opportunity for our students, donors, and alumni to spend time networking and sharing stories and experiences in breakout rooms, an activity that undoubtedly will be enriching for everyone. Thanks again, everyone, for the many ways that you contribute to the success of NatSci. That support is needed now more than ever. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, which is Lynmarie Posey, the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Studies.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all of you as we celebrate the accomplishments of our amazing NatSci students who've been supported by scholarships. It's great to have this opportunity to introduce myself to you as well as to get to know some of you. I joined the faculty in the Department of Chemistry in January of 1999. When I arrived at MSU, my research was focused in the area of experimental physical chemistry, but over time it has shifted to chemistry education research. In particular, I'm interested in how students use mathematics in learning chemistry and also how chemistry instructors teach the mathematics that is used in general chemistry. I'm also interested in how project-based general chemistry laboratories can be used to help develop professional soft skills. I served as the undergraduate director in the Department of Chemistry from 2011 until joining the Dean's office in August. I view my new role as an opportunity to engage with the entire NatSci community in efforts to promote student success. I am particularly interested in supporting initiatives to enhance curricular coherence, promote faculty adoption of evidence-based approaches to instructions, and also to prepare students to engage in fulfilling careers. Over the years, I have not only had undergraduates participate in my research, but I've effectively played matchmaker in the Department of Chemistry, helping connect undergraduate students with research opportunities. I've also been involved in several course transformation efforts, including adoption of an evidence-based curriculum in the Chemistry 141, 142 general chemistry courses, as well as implementation of a cooperative project-based curriculum for the general chemistry laboratory courses. 6 years ago, I developed Chemistry 121, which is called Explorations in Chemistry, which is an introductory course that serves as one of the academic components of the Dow STEM Scholars Program, which provides some additional support to students who are interested in pursuing STEM degrees, but enter MSU with low mathematics placements. So the reason that we're all gathered here today, scholarships. Currently, approximately 550 NatSci students receive varying levels of scholarship support. And so the importance of scholarships to our students really cannot be overemphasized. First, scholarships provide students with time. It frees many of them from the need to work as many hours to support their education, which then in turn allows them to explore, get their feet wet as researchers, and to discover the excitement that comes with generating new knowledge. Through being able to do research, scholarships, indirectly open many doors for students by providing them with opportunities to attend scientific meetings, which allows them to present their research findings. It also helps them begin building professional relationships and networks that potentially last their entire career. These opportunities not only facilitate development of students' professional competencies, but they also enhance their competitiveness in the workforce, and they showcase Spartan talent. They also increase the visibility and reputation of MSU as an institution that values and cultivates the next generation of scientists. Finally, scholarships can transform the Spartan experience by allowing students to establish deep and long-lasting connections with faculty mentors. For some students with career aspirations that don't include research, scholarships can give those students the necessary support to make it possible for them to pursue other types of experiential learning opportunities, such as education abroad, entrepreneurship, and/or community outreach. As you may imagine, we're currently seeing an increase in student need with COVID, and you may be wondering how we're supporting students during this time. One of the ways that we can provide modest amounts of support is through the Emergency Assistance Fund, which provides mini grants to help students continue pursuing their education. This is a relatively new program. It began with Give Green Day in 2018. The first disbursements to students were made in April of 2019, and 10 students have received support so far. There will be a link provided in the follow-up materials to this meeting to a website that showcases some of the stories of students who have been supported by the Emergency Assistance Fund. Unfortunately, it isn't possible to meet all of the need that exists, so we continue to actively try to raise funds to support the Emergency Assistance Fund. So thank you for your support of scholarships. And I want you to know that your support makes a huge difference for students and faculty. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Bill and Mary Connor. Bill Connor and Mary King Connor are both alums of the College of Natural Science, earning their respective PhDs, Mary in chemistry and Bill in mathematics, in 1970. Bill also earned his master's degree in mathematics from MSU. I am delighted to thank Bill and Mary for establishing the William M. and Mary King Connor Natural Science Scholarship Fund in 2011. Since that time, Bill and Mary's scholarship has provided essential financial support to NatSci students, allowing them to achieve their goals. With that, please welcome Bill and Mary Connor.
We're pleased to be part of this natural science scholarship event today. And we're coming at you from Gainesville, Florida. We've lived in Florida for a number of years. In the last year and a half, we've been here in Gainesville. We're at a retirement community that's affiliated with the University of Florida. But we want you to know, despite being in the midst of all these Gator fans down here, that we remain devoted state fans, and we proudly wear our MSU apparel around here. Not sure if you can see it on the screen, but see, Mary even has Spartan earrings on, so we're doing our part down here in Florida. Now back to the beginning for us. We were both born and raised in Pittsburgh, and in fact, an interesting kind of fun aside, we were delivered by the same doctor. Our mothers discovered this once in talking after we were married. We met in high school and we started dating during our senior year. Then after graduation in 1961, I went off to Ohio Wesleyan University, and Mary went off to Adrian College in Adrian, Michigan. Then I graduated a year early from Ohio Wesleyan, and I started graduate school at MSU so that I could be closer to Adrian and go back and forth every weekend to visit Mary.
At Adrian College, I earned a BS in chemistry. And of course, I chose Michigan State for my graduate studies. We got married shortly after my graduation, moved up to East Lansing, and moved into the University Married Housing Complex, Spartan Village. And that's where we started to become very avid fans of Michigan State. We really enjoyed the great football teams of 65 and 66. And in fact, we were in the stadium for that infamous 10-10 tie with Notre Dame in November of 1966. And of course, we did some studying while we were here too.
In my days at MSU, I majored in math, as Lynmarie mentioned. And also, I had a graduate assistantship in the computer laboratory where I worked as a programmer while I was in graduate school. And then after receiving my PhD in 1969, Lynmarie mentioned 1970, that was our official date, but we actually left at the end of 69. I took a faculty position in the computer science department at the University of Pittsburgh. And then after several years, I left the university and I joined a Pittsburgh-based software company where I spent the rest of my career.
And I earned my PhD in organic chemistry, again in the end of 1969. But my career was rather circuitous because at that time, industries were not too receptive at hiring females at that level. Fortunately, that's changed. So I started out as a director of clinical chemistry at a hospital. And then after a while, I decided to go back to school at the Graduate School of Public Health, University of Pittsburgh, where I earned a PhD in human genetics. And then that led to a research associate position in toxicology at the graduate school. And then in time, that led to a joint faculty appointment between the toxicology and the human genetics program. That allowed me to initiate a program in genetic toxicology. And in that field, my PhD in organic chemistry was a real asset in my research and teaching of chemical structure reactivity of chemical mutagens.
Over the years, we kept reading about the increases in college expenses and the increasing amount of debt that students were having upon graduation. And this often made us think back on our days at MSU. Now, when we were there in the mid to late 60s, we both had assistantships. And those were enough to cover virtually all of our expenses, our rent, our tuition, our food, textbooks, everything. In fact, as I recall, Spartan Village back then, the married housing complex, cost $90 a month. And that included all utilities except the telephone. So you can see how times have changed. When we graduated then, we had no savings, but on the other hand, we had no debt. So this prompted us several years ago to decide to pay back. The College of Natural Science had supported us in the advancement of our careers, and now we thought that we should help the college financially support future generations of students. Now, initially, we just had the scholarship fund in our estate plan, which was set up to establish a scholarship fund after we were both gone. But then we started thinking, why don't we start a fund now so that we can appreciate some of the benefits while we're still alive. And we're so glad we did that. We've met so many great people at MSU, both students and staff, who share our belief in the importance of an education.
Yeah, since in the last 10 or so years, we try to get back to Michigan State every fall for a football game. In fact, we had plans to attend the Northwestern game earlier this month, but we all know what happened there. During our trips back, we had the opportunity to meet with many of the student recipients of the scholarship and talk with them about how the scholarship made a difference in their lives. These experiences made us realize the impact of that scholarship in the student's life. Now today we're looking forward to meeting Jessica Wright, who's a current recipient of the William M. and Mary King Connor Scholarship Fund in the School of Natural Sciences. Jessica will have the opportunity to discuss what the scholarship means to her. So Jessica, nice meeting you, and Zoom is yours now.
I would like to start off saying how it is an absolute honor to be here speaking at the Natural Science Scholarship event. When I got the email asking to be a student speaker, I was very surprised, first off, and a little bit hesitant because I had not done any sort of speaking in front of a large group since high school. But I thought about it and I realized that this would be a perfect opportunity to personally thank my scholarship donors. So since the majority of you most likely don't know me, I actually only see one familiar face. My name is Jessica Wright. I am currently in my third year of being here at MSU. I'm majoring in human biology and minoring in sociology with the ambitions of becoming an orthodontist for low-income and less fortunate families and individuals. I chose this career path because I know how much teeth can be a source of pain, discomfort, and insecurity for a lot of people. And especially now that we're in the social media era and a lot of people, especially kids, all they see are celebrities with these perfect smiles that are most likely fake. So if there was any way I could help people naturally build confidence in themselves, I wanted to do it. And it's one of the ways that I plan on giving back to my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. I have these big dreams of graduating, going to dental school, getting my doctor's degree in orthodontics, and starting my own place, all the good stuff. But I constantly have to snap back in reality and realize that my dreams come at a very huge cost, literally. College is not cheap. I'm sure you all know that one by now. So taking consideration the cost of living, eating, classes, and moving back and forth from campus to home between semesters, I had to pick a university that wouldn't break my bank. So I don't come from a rich family, and quite frankly, I'm very far from it. Both my mother and my father work very hard every day to make ends meet and make sure my sister and I had everything we needed and a lot of what we wanted. And I didn't want to take anything away from the household by choosing some extremely expensive, extremely far away college where they couldn't afford and couldn't help me move in, and where I couldn't come home immediately if I wanted to. So that's when I made the ultimate decision of paying for college all by myself. No help from parents, grandmas, aunts, uncles, nobody, just me and my little part-time job. So even though I really want to go out of state, to be honest, and get the experience of finding out who I was as an individual, I chose to come here to MSU because it's close to home and it's one of my least expensive options. And I am very glad I did. You can guarantee that I got the independence that I was looking for, but again, it came at a very high cost. So I went to the Hannah Administration Building to pay that first bill freshman year, and I just sat on the bus thinking to myself, is this what adulting really is? Because holy crap, it sucks. Oh my goodness. But outside of the frequent activity of paying bills, I'm in a number of different organizations on campus. I'm a member of the Charles Drew Science Scholars Program, which is, for those who don't know, is a very inclusive, multicultural, multiracial living learning community for natural science majors, led by the amazing administrators, Dr. Jerry Caldwell and Miss Ariel Robbins. I'm in their sub-organization called Drew Student Organization. I'm a member of the MSU Dental Club, the Filipino American Student Society, and the Big Sister Little Sister Mentoring Program. So on top of all this and being a human biology major, you can believe I'm stressed to the max. And to add on to all the unease, I'm sure all of your lives were turned completely upside down once the COVID pandemic hit. I mean, I know it is really hard, and here we are having this scholarship event at Zoom University instead of being in person how it should have been. So all of my classes were suddenly online, and I knew from previous experience of online classes that I was going to struggle to keep up. Those first few weeks were definitely a disaster, not only for me, but I'm sure for the professors as well. So I understand the pain that everybody's going through, for sure. However, my life definitely turned for the worse the second week of MSU shutdown. Now, I didn't express this to my scholarship donors through a thank you letter because it was a really hard thing to talk about, but I might start getting emotional, so sorry. My dad passed away this past March. Sorry. He had diabetes and pneumonia, so he was the perfect host for the virus. I was pretty heartbroken. Depression and anxiety definitely took over my life for months. Crying every day, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't get out of bed. I hadn't eaten for days, and if I did manage to swallow something, even water, I threw it right back up. Sorry for the idea of that, but yeah, I threw it back up. So I was rapidly losing weight and becoming very sick. I had gone weeks without even looking at any assignments in any of my classes. So I knew I was really, really, really behind, and it was going to be almost impossible trying to catch up. So the stress from that made my condition worse. And honestly, I was on the brink of dropping out because I just could not handle the pain and the agonizing thought of continuing with any of my classes. But one day on April 28th, for some reason, I decided to check my email. So still laying in bed, I just reached over and grabbed my laptop and opened it up and started combing through all the university-wide emails from President Stanley and all of my professors. And oh boy, there was a lot of emails, almost a month's worth of emails. So yes, so going through all those, I came across an email from Carolyn Sekadat, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but hopefully I am. The subject title was Connor Scholarship Offer. So a little confused, I opened it up to see big red letters saying, this Friday, and I'm like, this Friday what? So that was the deadline to accept the scholarship and write a thank you letter. She had stated in the email that she had tried to contact me multiple times throughout the offer. So I jumped up and went through the rest of my emails and seen that she did email me a bunch of times. So if you're here, Carolyn, I'm sorry about that. I was not ignoring you. But long story short, this scholarship was a wake-up call for me. So I took it as a sign that I'm supposed to be here in college, continuing with my goals. As mentioned, I was so close to quitting. I was so close to giving up what I had been working so hard towards. So that meant to me that somebody out there saw my potential and decided to help me continue my journey through education. And that had to mean something. I couldn't just quit after knowing that somebody was graciously giving me something that they worked hard and earned for themselves. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to all the scholarship donors that are here today. You're giving a complete stranger your earnings that you worked for just to help them continue through their college and pursue their dreams. And a lot of students wouldn't be here and able to attend the university without your selflessness. And that takes a very kind heart and a loving spirit. And I want to express my extreme gratitude to my personal scholarship donors, Mr. William and Miss Mary King Connor. You are the reason that I'm in my junior year here at MSU. Without you, I wouldn't be able to be here right now giving this speech. I would have given up back in April, and I would have let anxiety and depression consume me, but your generosity and support gave me a reason to smile and continue my journey. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for listening.